Well, how are you feeling? You got John Riggs here with another episode of Open Cart Surgery, which is an ongoing series where I take games that are listed broken, I try to fix them, I try to get them working again. What usually happens is sometimes I clean it and it works, sometimes I clean it and it doesn't work, and I try something else and then it does work, and then oftentimes it doesn't work at all, and I use the comments in the video to fix the game later, sometimes on camera, sometimes off, and then more often than not, I use this series to do the same usual stuff that I have been doing for years and years, and then have people in the comments tell me everything I'm doing wrong, which is totally fine too. I appreciate all the comments and I appreciate all the support. In this episode, we have a couple of them. We have, they're both kind of not working the same way, so I'm going to give them both a shot at the same time. We got Pokemon Yellow, which I've had laying around for a long time, and then we have what I believe is Pokemon Red. This is from one Stephen Nickel, who sent this my way to see if I can get it working. I hope I can, man. So we'll just give it a shot. And I'm using just a standard classic. I'm not using a backlit mod, anything like that. I'm just using a classic. The way I played Pokemon back in the day, when I looked at it, is in what I had a teal one instead of a purple one, but couldn't find the teal one, so I'll go purple. Now you can use something like a Game Boy Advance SP, something like that. And this is nice. Usually if the Nintendo, where it says Nintendo there, usually if that's all garbled or messed up, it's not even going to bother starting up. And this one, it looks good, still doesn't start up though. So again, I try cleaning them first just as the go-to what to do. And I know it's called Open Cart Surgery, and some people are like, oh, you didn't even do any surgery. Well, I mean, it's just the clever name for the series. And this one also shows me the logo, fades to blank, but then doesn't kick back in. Fascinating. Let's open them up. So we got, this is a 3.8 millimeter security bit. You can Google that or Google Game Bit or eBay or whatever. These are pretty readily available and also pretty cheap. Never go to a video game convention without one of these in your back pocket, because if you're buying a legit game, you want to open it up and make sure it's not a fake or a repro. But just one screw is all it is. I'm gonna open both of these up at the same time because have to get to it. As always, if you're curious about any of the tools I use, like this blue mat, the solder use, or the soldering iron, desoldering iron, and all that, all the tools I use in all my videos are in the description. I have my Amazon affiliate there. One screw, little slide case. Pull it out. And that's what that game looks like. And this one is going to look pretty similar. Same idea. Just like in anime, when someone slashes the bad guy. Oh, you didn't get me. What? And then blood spurts everywhere. And I won't do this, but I could even swap cases, and that might be kind of cool. They look like they've been cleaned before already, but I'm going to try cleaning them anyway. You can use Q-tips and rubbing alcohol. I like to use these 1-up cards. They also, they're made to fit inside cartridges. However, they also have 1-up cards. Ah, here it is. I know I had it somewhere. That are made to fit inside Game Boy cartridges, or slim cards here. So a little bit of fluid side. Try a little bit of this. I'll do a little bit of both. A little on this side first. Hi. Oh, thank you. I'll take it.
Tastes really good with rice.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Awesome. I figured it would. All right, get better. That's all I'm doing. Oop. Ah. So there's the wet side, kind of cleans it, right? But then the dry side, kind of to remove the moisture, I guess. You can pop them in just like this. I'm going to put this case on just in case. Get it? Just in case. Wish my kids were here. They'd love that joke. Just in case. It's gonna fade. Nothing. Dude. Alright. Try this one. You know what? This one I won't even bother putting the case back on. It'll just fit in just like that. There we go. Look at that. And nothing. Dude. And I know this does work. I've used this Game Boy kind of recently for something else I was working on. Well, in lieu of the 1-up card, sorry, it didn't work this time. Sometimes it does, and that makes it for a very short video. But I also have this thing. I'm going to try to, before I unscrew it, it's called Bright Boy. It's like, it's a brass polisher, a metal polisher. Just like Brasso, And I have no problem using Brasso. It's probably why I always get all the angry comments in my videos saying, dude, you don't know what you're doing. I've never had a game not work because of Brasso. So that's why I don't mind using Brasso, because, yeah, it doesn't work. You know? So this, as a polisher, I'm going to see if I can kind of zoom in on it a little bit or clarify it a little bit. Even though I just cleaned it and everything, this will probably have a little bit of stuff come up. Not a lot. But as you can see, looks kind of dirty there. Well, it's imagine like resurfacing a disc. You're kind of removing the slightest layer. So anything that would have been like, you can't even clean it off. You almost just take it off that way. See that? Isn't that crazy? I'm going to do the same for this guy too. I'm not going to use the dirty side, but I'm going to use the other side now. Sometimes I use one Q-tip per game, but these pins are so small. Not a whole lot of surface area to work with here. Yeah, let me get my fingernails while I'm at it, apparently. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. If I get it working, that's great, but even if I don't get it working, at least he tried. It's always a huge success when I do, though. That was, a little self-confidence, a little boost to self-esteem. I'll go with this one first. And you know what? It's not a bad idea to do the one-up card again. Just for any trace residue. Residence, what? So, hope I can get it working here. We'll have to get Steven's game working again. No, you're terrible. Why would you not do this for me? Why would you not do this? What do you have against Steven? What do you have against Steven? I'll put this straight. I'm not going to do that. The plastic helps guide it, so I'll at least do that much. Work. And. Gah! Alright. We can try reflowing the solder points, the solder pins, and there are also other ways. We got ways of making it work. We got ways to remove the plastic here. Turn on my soldering iron. Like if a pin isn't working, I had somebody share with me a photo that he got a game working, and that's one of my favorite things is when people send me. People send me things. I was like, oh man, hey, thanks for your videos. I got this game working again, and here's what I did. And there are people who are way smarter than I am. Especially when it comes to, solder and wire and stuff like that. I just do it for fun. If you want to take what I use and use it for yourself, that's fine too. I think about Harpo Marx. Harpo Marx, the Marx brothers, played the harp incorrectly. However, other people who were inspired to play the harp learned how to play the harp because of Harpo. So now there's a bunch of people who learned how to play the harp incorrectly. But if it works, it works. That's the way I look at it. There's a way you can reflow the solder. Sometimes the solder, it's an old game. The solder gets old and cold and, just kind of loses its luster. But you just barely touch it up. And I have my soldering iron over here. It's already heated up. And in lieu of going on all the pins, you just kind of hit each one individually. That's all you got to do. I'm going to take my... I'm getting close. Turn my hat backwards so you don't just see a giant bill on here. I'm going to drop this down a little bit too. I want you to see a little bit closer. Ready for the free fall? Wasn't that scary? One of my daughter's favorite rides at the fair. The one that just goes up and up and up and then just chunks down all at once. What do we got here? I'm going to turn this around a little bit. Oh, let me not do that again. Almost dropped the little base where I keep my solder stuff. And it's hard to see what I'm doing. Especially when I put my hand in front of it, right? There we go. All right. Turn it back on. I'm going to wait for just a couple seconds. This thing heats up really quickly. Just like that. If you're curious, this is the it's a Hako soldering iron. Has a little base and everything, and again, it's linked in the Amazon affiliate. But any soldering iron will work. I've been using kind of this cheap kind of $10 Walmart soldering iron, this battery operated soldering iron. I didn't think it would work at all. Actually, worked for me pretty well so far. But for this one, I'm going to bust this one out. This one has a better tip. And these Game Boy pins are so tiny. So Super tiny. And like I said, all I'm doing is just kind of heating up the solder for a second. Just to wake it up. Breathe some new life into it. You know, imagine if your hands are cold. You know, your hands are cold. Hard to do anything. Hard to write, hard to text, hard to grab onto something. But you're just like, you know, breathing some of your warm air into it. Kind of defrost them a little bit, thaw them up a little bit. Kind of look at it that way, I suppose. Just now thought of that analogy. Might use that for future videos too. You can tell it's heated up. You can just feel it when it heats up. You just touch it. That's all you gotta do. And you can just tell. You can feel it in your fingers. These fingers, not these fingers. I'm gonna leave these ones alone. I don't think that would be the case. I want to try the other side here. Oh, let me get that side again. Like I said, you can just kind of feel it when it melts. And when you let go, the solder will kind of reform, refreeze. I've heard of people who have completely removed the solder and then add new solder on it. And that sounds like a lot of effort for me. I'm efficiently lazy. I don't know if I told that before. I am efficiently lazy. That means if there's a quicker way to do something, I want to know about it so I can move on with my life. You know, I got my full-time job, I got a part-time job, I've got 3 kids who need my attention. You know, I'm happy to give them that attention. You know, always working on my other little hobbies, my little projects. Taking care of sick people in the house when needed. I love cooking, so I'm also a cook. Usually. Not every day. Not every day. Not all the time. I'm going to do this one while I'm at it, too. You have no idea how tempted I am to just go to scratch it, but that would not be good. Oh, get back there. Just a little touch, a little dab. Not that kind of dab. I think I hit all those pins on that side. Wouldn't hurt to do them again, I suppose, but I also don't like... I mean, it's nature of the beast to use a soldering iron on a circuit board, but I also don't like touching a circuit board with a soldering iron for too long. In fear I might, like, you know, scorch the board or burn it or something like that. Don't want to overheat it. Not sure what would happen outside of just it not working. Like, for sure it wouldn't work. It's already not working to my favor. The fact that it loads up to that Nintendo screen shows me hope. And, you know, like I said, I had one of my Instagram followers, and thank you for following me on Instagram. My DMs are always open. He shared with me a photo of he fixed a game, couldn't work. A very similar story to one of the Game Boy games I worked on earlier. He wanted to share it with me to get it working again, but he figured out which pin was bad and wired it directly from the pin to the ROM where it was supposed to go. I mean, that's some next level stuff there. You know, I don't think he was inspired by my channel to get started, but he certainly was inspired enough to drop me a quick message to let me know. So I appreciate that. I love seeing, you know, when someone's like, oh, hey, I watched your videos and, you know, got this game working because of you. Or, you know, hey, I used Bright Boy. Or, hey, I actually bought some of those 1-Up cards. Again, 1-Up cards, whether you buy them or not, I get no profit out of it. I use them because I like them. All right, we got that. I'm going to turn the soldering iron off. I don't need it anymore. We'll try Steve's red. Come on, Steven. Man. Wouldn't that be something? Alright. Nothing on this side. I'm going to put this aside for now. I'm going to put the screw back in it just so I don't lose it. So this one right here. Oh, come on. There it goes. That's like one of those coin machines, those coin donation banks that you see at the mall sometimes. Starts going down the spiral. Love those. Remember those? I'm going to do it with this one too. Because if it works, great. I'll have one. If it doesn't work, then I'll work on it later. Maybe I'll follow that one guy's advice and see if I can figure out which pin is the non-working pin. Put a wire directly to the ROM, you know, or a wire directly to the part of the board. Oh. Well, I'm sorry I wasted 15 minutes of your time. I was hoping for a win today, but I'm glad I at least tried. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna follow that one guy's advice on Instagram, and that'll be a video for another time. I just gotta get some tools ready, and we'll go from there. But thank you for watching, and always, if you want to see at least some successes, I do have several of them on my open cart surgery playlist. And if you're looking for tools, again, link in the description below. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, man.